Hey everyone, thanks for joining. I'm Greg, and in each episode, we'll explore the spending plan of a household through the eyes of three financial experts, Dave Ramsey, the Money Guys, and Ramsey Sethi. I'm not a financial expert, I'm just a guy with some spreadsheets and a calculator. Welcome to Money Month. Today we're going to revisit the spending plan of a couple in their late 40s from Tennessee with 2 children. Let's get started. Okay, couple from Tennessee, let's review your spending plan. Your assets are $355,000, investments $189,000, emergency fund $26,700, pre-planned savings $32,500, high interest debt 0, low interest debt is $68,500, which is your mortgage, for a total net worth of $534,700. Your gross monthly income is $10,500. Net monthly income is $8,500. For fixed costs, your mortgage is $1,100, groceries $1,100, credit card 0, water $50, electricity $110, gas $70, trash $100, internet $225, cable 0, phone $240, insurance $160, low interest debt payment 0, transportation $200, clothes $50, subscriptions $50, college student expenses $250, high school student expenses $150, miscellaneous $560, for a total fixed cost of $4,315. For your investments, you have $1,916 in pre-tax retirement savings, $100 in post-tax retirement savings, for a total of $2,016. For savings goals, you're saving 0 into your emergency fund, $200 into vacations, $200 into vehicles, $200 into gifts, $100 into new technology, $500 for college savings, for a total savings of $1,200. And for guilt-free spending, you are spending $969. Last episode, we looked at the spending plan through the eyes of Dave Ramsey. This episode, let's see what the Money Guys would say about this. The Money Guys have the FOO, the financial order of operations. Let's see which step you're on and how long it will take you to get to the last step. Step 1, save enough in an emergency fund to cover your highest deductible for insurance, such as your home insurance, your car insurance, your health insurance, etc. To do this, find out what your deductibles are for your insurance plans, and whichever one has the highest deductible, make sure you save enough in an emergency fund to cover that. This step is similar to Dave Ramsey's baby step 1, which is saving a starter emergency fund of $1,000. So the difference between the two approaches is that baby step 1 is a simple one-size-fits-all amount, whereas the FOO step 1 requires some research to find out what your amount should be. Have you saved enough in your emergency fund to cover your highest deductible? You have $26,700 in your emergency fund. While I don't know what your highest deductible is, my assumption is that it's far less than $26,700. So congratulations, you've completed step 1 of the FOO. Celebrate that and move on to step 2. Step 2, save enough in your employee retirement plan to get the employer match. To do this, find out how much your employer matches, then contribute that amount to your retirement plan. The employer match doubles your money. It's 100% return on your contribution, which is amazing. To compare this with the baby steps, Dave Ramsey wants you to pay off all your debt in baby step 2, whereas the Money Guys want you to get this 100% return on your money, because getting 100% return mathematically still beats out paying 20 to 30% on a high interest debt. Have you saved enough in your employee retirement plan to get the employer match? I don't know how much your employer matches, so let's say it's $100 per month. You're putting $1,916 into your 401k, which is more than the employer match, so let's reduce it down to $100 for now. Once you set your contribution to equal the match, then congratulations, you've completed step 2 of the FOO. Celebrate that and move on to step 3. Step 3, pay off high interest debt. In general, this kind of debt is credit card debt, where interest rates are obviously high, like 15%, 18%, or 22%. I think there's even some credit card interest rates that are as high as 30%, which is insane. The Money Guys want you to pay this off in step 3 and do whatever it takes to get this paid off as quickly as possible, which is similar to Dave Ramsey's approach to debt, except the Money Guys are only concerned with high interest debt for step 3. Paying off low interest debt doesn't come until step 9, the very last step of the FOO. However, what they consider low interest debt and high interest debt is not always a simple answer. It depends on your age and the interest rate. For example, in your 20s, if you have an interest rate greater than 6%, this might be considered high interest debt. In your 30s, if the interest rate is greater than 5%, that might be considered high interest debt. In your 40s, if the interest rate is greater than 4%, this might be considered high interest debt. And in your 50s, any debt might be considered high interest debt.
Have you paid off all high interest debt? Yes, you currently have no high interest debt. So congratulations, you can move on to step 4.
Step 4. Save enough in your emergency fund to cover 3 to 6 months of expenses or greater.
How much is 3 to 6 months of expenses? To find that out, you take your fixed costs and multiply that by 3 and 6. Let's see, your fixed costs are $4,315. So 3 months of that would be $12,945, and 6 months of that would be $25,890. Have you saved enough in your emergency fund to cover 3 to 6 months of expenses or greater? Yes, you have $26,700 in your emergency fund. So congratulations, you can move on to step 5.
Step 5. Save the max amounts in a Roth IRA and health savings account if you're able to contribute to those. They specify the Roth IRA because with that account, you can withdraw that money tax-free at retirement. Then, if there's any money left, contribute the max amount you can into a health savings account. If you can't invest the max, then start by doing what you can, then increase that amount every year until you reach the max.
First, find out the maximum amount you can contribute to a Roth IRA. You'd have to look up what the limits are, but in 2024, if you're under age 50, you can contribute $7,000 for the year, which is about $583 per month for 12 months of contributions. Adjust as necessary if you're starting later in the year. Once you've set up that account, invested the $583 per month into a low-cost fund, and automated a recurring payment into that fund, then you've maxed out your Roth IRA. What about the health savings account? In 2024, families can contribute up to $8,300 in their HSA accounts, which is $691 per month for 12 months of contributions. So you can use the $691 per month to max out your contributions. Once you've done all that, then you're done with step 5. Celebrate that, then move on to step 6.
Step 6. Save the max amount in your employer retirement plan.
For 2024, the 401k contribution limit is $23,000 per year, which is about $1,916 per month. You're already contributing $100 to your 401k to get the employer match, so you need to contribute $1,816. However, this is now 30% of your gross monthly income, and if you look ahead at step 7 of the FOO, the goal is to reach 25%. 25% of your gross monthly income is $2,625. To limit your investments to 25%, your 401k contribution would be $1,351. Your balance is now negative $609. However, your savings total is $1,200 and your guilt-free spending is $969. So you have some room to make adjustments to that spending in the next steps. Since we already limited the percentage to 25%, which is step 7 of the FOO, you can celebrate that and move on to step 8. But before you do, let's look at a retirement calculator to see what this investing will add up to when you reach retirement age. I know you're in your late 40s, so let's say you're 48. For 17 years until you're 65, you would contribute $2,625 per month plus the $100 employer match to total $32,700 per year. You already have $189,000 in investments, and let's assume a conservative 7% rate of return. By age 65, without ever increasing your contributions in 17 years, you should have about $1,605,491. With a 4% safe withdrawal rate, that would give you about $64,220 to live off of in retirement each year. And if you ever get raises and you're able to increase your contributions during those years, your savings could add up to a whole lot more than that.
Step 8. Prepay future expenses like college for your kids, your next vehicle, a house down payment, etc. To compare this with Dave Ramsey's baby steps, this is similar to baby step 5 that deals with funding your child's college fund. And while Dave doesn't mention using baby step 5 to save for future expenses like your next vehicle or a house down payment, that seems like the logical step where you would save for these future expenses.
After allocating $2,625 per month to your investments, you have $1,560 left for prepaying future expenses. You're currently saving $200 per month towards vacations, vehicles, and gifts, $100 per month towards new technology, and $500 per month towards college savings, which adds up to $1,200 per month being saved for future expenses. In the previous episode, where we looked at your spending plan through the eyes of Dave Ramsey, we increased your college savings to $1,000 per month. However, Dave's plan recommends investing 15% of your gross monthly income, whereas the Money Guys recommend investing 25%. This increase in investing will lead to about $300,000 more saved for retirement, but it means that you won't be able to contribute $1,000 per month towards college savings. It will have to remain at $500 per month. And it also means that your guilt-free spending amount will need to be reduced from $969 per month to $360 per month. Assuming that you wouldn't want to reduce your guilt-free spending to below $360 per month, then there's no money left to continue on to step 7 of the FOO at this time. However, as we did in the previous episode, let's assume that your kids will be done with both high school and college in 8 years, which would then free up $500 per month that you were saving in their college funds and $400 per month for fixed costs for high school and college expenses, which would total $900 per month that would be freed up to spend on other things. You would celebrate that and then move on to step 9 of the FOO.
Step 9. Prepay low-interest debt. This is the last step of the financial order of operations. To compare this with Dave Ramsey's baby steps, where baby step 2 requires you to pay off all debt regardless of the interest rate, the Money Guys want you to wait until the very last step. Their reasoning is that it makes more mathematical sense to save in investments where you can expect rates of return of 7% or more, rather than pay off debt that has rates of return that are less than 6%. As I mentioned earlier when discussing step 3 of the FOO, what they consider low-interest debt and high-interest debt is not always a simple answer. It depends on your age and the interest rate.
Your only low-interest debt is your mortgage. At the beginning, you owed $68,500. Let's pull up an additional mortgage payment calculator, and let's see how long it would take you to pay off your mortgage without paying extra. Your current balance is $68,500. I don't know your interest rate, so I'm going to put 5%. While your current monthly payment is $1,100, I don't know how much of that is comprised of a principal payment and how much is interest, property taxes, home insurance, etc. I'm going to guess that your $1,100 mortgage payment is comprised of $750 towards principal and interest, and $350 is for property taxes, home insurance, etc. Paying $750 per month, it would take you 116 months to pay off your mortgage, which is about 9.5 years. As a reminder, in step 8, we said that in 8 years from now, you would have about $900 per month freed up to spend on other things like paying off this mortgage debt. And as we just determined, in 9.5 years from now, your mortgage would be paid off. So at the point that this $900 per month is freed up, you would only have 1.5 years left to pay off your mortgage. Let's say you use some of that $900 per month to pay down your mortgage faster, and you're able to pay it off in 9 years instead of 9.5. So in 9 years, after you pay off your house, instead of paying $1,100 per month to your mortgage, you would just need to pay the $350 for property taxes, home insurance, etc., which means that $750 would be freed up to spend on other things. If you add that to the $900 per month that was freed up when your kids finished college, this would total $1,650 that you could now spend on other things. What would you do with that money? Here are a few options. You could increase your investments so you would have more money to live off of in retirement. You could increase how much you save toward future expenses like your emergency fund, vacations, vehicles, etc., so you can minimize risk and maintain your wealth. And you could increase how much you spend on guilt-free spending so you can enjoy the fruits of all your hard work and discipline right now instead of waiting until you retire. If you did all 3 of these things equally, then you would increase each of these categories by about $550 per month. Let's revisit the retirement calculator to see what this additional investment could add up to when you reach retirement age. For 9 years, from age 48 to 57, you would contribute $2,625 per month, plus the $100 employer match, to total $32,700 per year. You already had $189,000 in investments, and again, let's assume a conservative 7% rate of return. By age 57, you would have $739,149, at which time your house would be paid off. You would have no more college expenses, and you would increase your investments to $3,175 per month, plus the $100 employer match, to total $39,300 per year. You would contribute that amount from age 57 to age 65. By age 65, you should have about $1,673,206. With a 4% safe withdrawal rate, that would give you about $66,928 to live off of in retirement each year. So there you have it, the Money Guys financial order of operations. To recap, you're currently on step 8. When we reviewed step 5, 6, and 7, we increased your investment percentage to 25% of your gross monthly income and changed some allocations for those investments. For step 9 of the FOO, we guessed that it would take you about 9 years to pay off your mortgage. And by the time you're 65 years old, you should have about $1,670,000 saved for retirement. If you have any comments or questions about the spreadsheets, the Money Month app, or my analysis of anything, feel free to hit me up in the comments, and I'll do my best to respond to you in the comments or in a future episode. I'll put links out there for you to download those for free in case any of those look useful to you. In the next episode, we'll look at your spending plan through the eyes of Ramsey Sethi and take you up his ladder of personal finance. Whether you're following Dave Ramsey's baby steps, the Money Guys FOO, Ramsey Sethi's ladder of personal finance, or your own plan, the key is finding a plan that works for you and sticking to it. And that's a wrap on another episode of Money Month. Thanks for joining. If you enjoyed the show, please like, subscribe, review, add comments, and tell your friends. If you want to play along at home, I'll add some links so you can download the spreadsheets in the desktop app. We'll be back soon with more tips, tricks, and insights to help you achieve your personal finance goals. Until then, keep learning, keep growing, and keep making every month count with Money Month.